Okay, so we're going to do internal links now at this point. So the internal link is where you've got an awful lot of text usually on a page, and you want to be able to move up and down the page with some degree of ease. And again, we've already done on pages which have back to the top on it. So that's what we're going to set up. But we have some preparation work to do first, and that is we need to bring some text into this page so that we can work with it. So to that end, I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Open, Text Files, and one of the files I have for you is domains, and it's all this text here. So let's take all of this text now and we can put it into the linking HTML page itself. Okay, but one thing I do notice here, which I think we'll put right before we go anywhere else, there's actually a heading missing here, and the heading is the second heading down. It is how to register a domain name. So let's just put that in now in here. So how to register a domain name. Lovely. So I'm going to highlight all of this text by Control and A. Then I'm going to say Control and C to copy all of this text. I'm going off to linking now. Again, making sure you're in the right area. So here's the main, and there's the linking. I need to go between this div here. So just press return a couple of times, get myself a blank space, and just copy and paste to paste all that text down. So there we can see all of that text. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to start working with this text and prepping it as a page. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change all of my headings to heading 5s. So it's nice and easy. So I'm going to do all of these headings plus all the 5 matching headings down here. So I'll just do one here. So I'm going to make this into a heading 4. So open H4 and close, and go to the end and make this closed out heading 4 and done. And again all the way down here, plus the same names here have to be done here. So I'll come here for argument's sake. Once I've finished all of those, I'll put in the heading 4 here and close it and go to the end and put in a heading 4, or sorry, a closing heading 4 here as well. So I'm just going to finish all that now and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's all the heading areas in. Again, just to show them to you, here are the 5 main headings that will be at the top, and then these are the 4 headings that will be in the main page that are a replica of these. So as you can see, I put in all the headings for the 5 areas of interest. Now my next thing is I need to set my text into paragraphs to make sure I have lines before and after them. So again, there's a list of where each paragraph begins on page 25, so you simply follow that. So I'll do the first 2 and then I'll let you do the rest. So we're simply going to open up the P for paragraph and close it, go to the end of the respective paragraph, stop the paragraph and close it like so. The next one is here, and again I refer you to the list. So open it, paragraph and close it, and we're going to go to the end of this one, open, close the paragraph and stop. Okay, and I'll be with you back in a minute when I finish the rest. Okay, so that's all the paragraphs in, as you can see, and there is help for you again, like I said, on page 25. Okay, so I'm going to save that now, and I'm going to go over to Internet Explorer just to see what this page now will look like. So we're going to go to the linking area, and again I'm just going to up F5 to refresh that page, and there we have it. Again, you won't see much here at this moment in time because it's just simply laying it out to making sure it looks okay, and so far so good. So that's good. So let's go back into our notepad page now, and let's go back to the very, very top. So like I said, this is all about linking up and down internally on the page. So let's take back to the top first. So to allow us to do back to the top, we've got to put an ID top area so it has something to go back to. So we're putting in our own reference bookmark and we're going to call this top. So I want to go right back up to the top of the banner area. So I'm going to find the div for the banner, which is here. And this is, I've already typed it in for you here, unfortunately, but I'll just delete it and I'll just type it again. So it's open up an anchor space, ID is equal to, okay, and the ID is going to be simply, and keep the words very simply, top, because that's where I want to go to the top, and close the bracket. Okay, So in this instance, there is no closeout in this one because I want it to simply go back to the top at all times. All right, so it's only identifying, it's a bookmark basically. So with that done, I'm going to go down here to the end of the first text and directly before the first heading. And I'm going to go click in here, and I'll do this on a single line so you can see exactly what I'm doing. But I could just as easily have done it at the end of the text. So here I want to make sure it's on its own line, so I'm going to open up a paragraph. Then I'm going to put in an anchor and a header reference. So I'm going to refer to a particular point of this particular page. It's going to be equal to, and again we open up the quote mark, put the hash symbol in this instance, top, end of quote mark, okay, and close the bracket, then the words back to the top and stop the anchor. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that now at the end of each paragraph, before the beginning of each heading. So rather than typing all over again, I'm just going to highlight all of that. Sorry, I need to stop because I forgot to end the paragraph. So let's stop the paragraph from working right now. So that's grand. Now I'm going to highlight all of it because it's now in its completeness. I'm going to copy that, and again, going just directly before each heading, putting it back to the top, again in here, again back to the top, here, and finally at the bottom. I'm going to save that now before I go any further. I'm going to go back out here and make sure that I have all of them, and in fact that they're all in the right place. So here we are, back to the top once, twice, 3, 4, and 5 times. So yes, if I click on back to the top, you can see it goes straight back up now to exactly where I want it to go to. So if I click on any back to the top, it should bring me straight back to the top of my web page, and that's exactly what it's doing. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go back again, and now we're going to create some more bookmarks. We're going to bookmark all the headings so that when we click on the list, it will bring us directly to that point on the page. So the first thing is we're going to go back to Notepad, and we'll start with the first one up here, which is register a domain name. We're going to click in right beside it, and again we're going to put our own bookmark in at this point. So to do that, again, exactly like the same as we did top, open up the bracket, anchor, and in this instance, space, and the ID that we want in this instance is going to be equal to domain 1, close the bracket, close it out, like so. All right, and we need to go over to the end of register domain name because we want to tell it this is the end of the bookmark area and stop the anchor at this point. Okay, now for me to make that a reference for the heading, what I would do here then is I go back to the register for the heading, I'd open this up and I'd say anchor, and the difference here would be a header reference because it's referencing a point on the page. Is equal to quote mark, and in this instance we'd start it off with the hash symbol followed by domain 1, end of quotes and end of bracket, and again going to the end of this area and stopping the anchor from working. Anchor and stop. Okay, so this is the actual bookmark that we're naming this area domain. By telling this is the anchor of the header reference, what we're saying here is that if we click here, this is to bring us to this point. So let me just do this one, the second one. So I'm going to go and put a bookmark in here. So I'm going to open up with the anchor. I'm going to put an ID in here. And this is going to be equal to domain 2, end of quote mark, end of bracket, going to the end of here and stopping the anchor at this point. I'm going to go back up here. You don't have to do them individually. You could do all of these and then all of these if you so wished. The only thing you must remember is all times that the spelling and the layout is 100% accurate. Opening this up and it's anchor again, href is going to be equal to quote mark, hash, domain 2, end of quote mark, bracket, and go to the end of it and close the anchor tag and forward A and done. Okay, so I'm going to finish off the other 3 and then I shall again be back. Okay, so we're finished now. So these are all in place, and as you can see down the way, the headings are also in place. So let's save this work. Let's go back out to Internet Explorer, refresh the page. Now you can see these have all changed, and now they're all got hyperlinks on them. These do not, because they're not hyperlinked. These are just where the bookmarks are. So if I was to click on steps to registering a domain name, it will actually bring us straight to it. Back to the top, but bring us back to the top. Sign up with a web host, sign up with web host, back to the top. So now we know that they're working. And that's how you can set up linking on an internal page.